always am indebted to you, Steve.
Really? Wow.
Having my back at the Comedy Cellar that night.
Yeah.
When the unbelievably strong, muscular, tall Jon Stewart came up and had a problem with me. We were sitting at the bar. We were laughing, having a good time.
Yeah, we were.
And Jon Stewart came in and sat there, and we kind of were face to face for a moment. I go, "Hey, John, how you doing?" And he got mad. He goes, "Oh, really? I know who you are, and I know you've said about me." He just got completely obnoxious.
Yeah, he was completely repulsed by you, by the way.
Yeah,
He was just like,
yeah.
why are you in my face? And I was in the awkward position because it seemed like I introduced you to him.
Yeah.
Because I was already talking to him, and you totally, like, C-blocked me and jumped in front of me and was like, "Hi, I'm Anthony." And you ruined the whole thing. It was horrible. I was having a nice time with Jon Stewart, and you had to interject. You had to.
Now,
but
maybe I'll take that back that I had to.
But when he was repulsed by you,
yes,
and
as most people are.
He had a couple of those words that I can't say say to your face.
See?
But you,
Very
as
smart.
a complete gentleman, you kept your calm and said, "Hey, listen, we're in this business. It's called show business. Why don't you just take a break? I really like you." That's what you said. I would really like to just like figure this out.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, two of his big friends from Goons stood up like it was about to be a 3-on-1.
The only goon I had was you, Steve.
Yo, that's all you need, brother.
You were my only goon.
Yeah, you want me at your back. Trust me. And but I said, "Yo, I get a 1-on-1, not a 3-on-1. I'm gonna have to stand here and get my boys back." And that's what I did.
You did. You stood up.
Yeah,
and,
man.
I appreciate that. It got me barred from the Comedy Cellar for a little while.
Oh, did it really?
I was then allowed to come back. And after that, I had some words with Bill Burr and Calypso to Kenny, who does Bill's security.
Yeah,
and
that was from back with Dice.
Then I was summarily thrown out of the Comedy Cellar again. And then I came back to talk to Noam, the owner, and he said, "Maybe you should take a little sabbatical, a little hiatus from the Comedy Cellar."
I like the fact that you like to throw rocks at the beehive. That's your best quality, I think. You know,
they're hypocrites, dude.
Yeah,
they're all hypocrites because
I love that Bill Burr is going down hard right now. Hard.
I have read nothing but horrible things about his special, about him. Like, people aren't looking at him like that cutting-edge Boston comic anymore. They're going, "Oh, this is a Disney Star Wars guy that's all of a sudden woke." And, they're not saying nice things about him.
He took the red pill, definitely.
Yeah, the blue pill. I think.
Oh, is it the blue pill?
Yeah, the red pill.
I don't need the blue pill. I'll take the red pill.
I am black pill, dude. I've taken the everything sucks black pill. I'm done. I'm done with everything. But speaking of hypocrisy, I want to talk to you about Howard and this book, Gorilla Parts. First of all,
okay, so I love the fact that we got some more details about the Jon Stewart incident. Of course, Cumia trashing Bill Burr again. That story is still always hilarious to me. And one of the main reasons why Cumia goes in so hard at Bill Burr, because Bill Burr got him thrown out of the Comedy Cellar. Once again, the Jon Stewart thing, I still don't get. I've listened to a lot of Cumia, right? I honestly cannot recall him ever really trashing Jon Stewart. I don't ever recall it. And if it happened, it was probably just on, like, Jon Stewart's, like, probably called him a liberal sea-sucker or something. Like, I don't remember an in-depth Jon Stewart trashing, at least to the level of Jon Stewart confronting him at the Comedy Cellar over it. And, it must have, even if he did trash Jon Stewart, it must not have been that insane because I don't ever remember it. So it must not have been that bad. So I always find that interesting. I love how Cumia is just trashing Burr now on his radio show, which I knew was going to happen. And he had on Grillo, right, from the Howard Stern show. Grillo swears, and then Cumia has to dump out of it. Kind of mentioned it a few more times. Basically kicked Grillo off the show because Cumia had a hard out. Like, Grillo, get out of here. I want to take phone calls. And then at the end of the show, Grillo started calling Anthony. And Anthony was like, Grillo's calling me, not realizing I'm still on the radio. Yeah, but that was the first little Bill Burr trashing Cumia did on his radio show. Something tells me a lot more is going to be coming. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.